Out in the back 40, parked next to a $500,000 machine bristling with touchscreens, sits a combine older than the farmer's grandkids, and he wouldn't trade it for anything. No emission sensors to fail, no software to update, just steel, grease, and a design so honest you can fix it with a wrench and a swear word. Across America, these old workhorses keep rolling when everything newer breaks down. Here are 10 old American combines farmers flat out refuse to replace. Number 10. John Deere 6600. Let's start with a machine that practically defined the American grain harvest for a generation. The John Deere 6600. When Deere rolled out its new generation combines in 1970, the 6600 quickly became the company's best-selling model of the bunch, and you can still find them running hard half a century later. Under the hood sat a Dubuque-built engine, a 303 cubic inch gas or a 329 cubic inch diesel, pushing out around 104 horsepower. That doesn't sound like much today, but Deere paired it with a clever lengthened concave and 4 130-inch straw walkers that shook out every last kernel. In fact, Deere claimed in field tests that the smaller 6600 could actually out-harvest its bigger older brother, the Model 105, despite having less separating area on paper. So why do farmers refuse to let these go? Simplicity. The 6600 is a conventional walker machine with no rotor, no computer, and no emissions plumbing to choke on dust. When something breaks, a farmer with a basic tool set can usually diagnose and fix it himself in the shop. No dealer laptop required. Parts are everywhere because Deere sold so many of them, and the aftermarket has never stopped supporting the platform. There's also the matter of how gently it treats the crop. A lot of old-timers swear a well-tuned 6600 cracks fewer beans and leaves cleaner samples than they expected, especially in tough conditions. Add in a 112-bushel grain tank that's plenty for a smaller operation, and you've got a machine that just makes economic sense to keep alive. For a hobby farmer, a small grain producer, or someone harvesting food plots and a few hundred acres, buying a $400,000 modern combine is insane when a $5,000 6600 will put the crop in the bin year after year. That's exactly why these green workhorses refuse to die. Number 9. Massey Ferguson 510. Next up is a combine that takes us back even further. The Massey Ferguson 510, built in the late 1960s and into the early 1970s. This was a no-frills conventional machine from an era when farm equipment was designed to be understood by the person operating it, and that's precisely why a stubborn core of farmers still run them. The 510 came in both gas and diesel versions, with later models offering a Perkins diesel that earned a reputation for being tough and frugal on fuel. It wasn't the biggest combine of its day, and it certainly wasn't the fanciest, but it had a quality that modern machines have largely engineered away. You could keep the whole thing running with hand tools, a grease gun, and a parts catalog. Now, let's be honest, the 510 has its critics. Talk to enough farmers and you'll hear mixed verdicts. Some loved them, some fought them. But the ones that survived into the present day survived for a reason. They were bought cheap, maintained simply, and asked to do one job: get the crop off a modest acreage without bankrupting the owner. That's the heart of why these refuse to be replaced. For a small operation, a hay and grain hobby farm, or someone cutting oats for their own livestock, the 510 is essentially free harvesting capacity once you own it. There's no payment, no emissions regen cycle shutting you down mid-field, and no 5-figure repair bill when an electronic module fails, because there are no electronic modules. The 510 also represents something harder to put a price on. For a lot of families, this was the combine Grandpa bought new, the one a father learned to run, and the one the kids climbed on as toddlers. When a machine like that still fires up and cuts a clean swath, selling it for scrap feels like betrayal. So it stays in the shed, gets a fresh battery every fall, and keeps earning its keep. Number 8. New Holland TR70 Twin Rotor. In 1975, New Holland did something nobody in North America had done before. It put the first true rotary combine built on this continent into production. That machine was the TR70 Twin Rotor, and it was a genuine turning point in harvesting history. Instead of the traditional cylinder and straw walker setup, the TR70 used 2 rotors set at an angle to thresh and separate the crop. TR stood for twin rotor, and that twin rotor concept let the machine handle corn, beans, and small grains with a gentleness and capacity that Walker machines struggled to match. It was built compact on purpose, which made it surprisingly handy on hilly ground. Power came from a 145 horsepower Ford gas engine or a 166 horsepower Caterpillar diesel, feeding a grain tank of roughly 158 bushels. Painted right on the back of that first prototype were the words, "Look, no straw walkers." New Holland knew it was selling a revolution. So why do farmers cling to the old TR machines? Because the twin rotor design proved itself to be one of the most durable and crop-friendly threshing systems ever built. These combines became legendary for putting clean, undamaged grain in the tank and for shrugging off conditions that bogged down conventional machines. The platform was so successful that New Holland built tens of thousands of TR combines over the following decades, with the line eventually evolving into the modern CR series. For the farmer who already knows the TR inside and out, there's enormous value in that familiarity. The rotors are simple to access, the mechanical drives are repairable, and because so many were made, a salvage yard parts machine is never far away. A modern combine might cut faster, but it comes wrapped in emissions controls, hydraulics, and software that no farmer can service alone. The TR70 asks for none of that. It asks for grease, attention, and an operator who understands it. And in return, it keeps threshing decade after decade. That's a trade plenty of farmers are still happy to make. Number 7. Gleaner L2. If you've ever seen a silver combine working a wheat field and wondered why it isn't painted, you've met the Gleaner, and the L2 is one of the most beloved Gleaners ever built. Here's a great piece of trivia. Gleaners are silver not because of paint, but because the sheet metal is galvanized. The founder, one of the Baldwin brothers, reasoned that most combines spend their lives sitting outdoors, and Texas and Oklahoma dust storms have a way of peeling paint right off machinery. So instead of paint, Gleaner used zinc-plated steel that resisted the weather, and that silver shine became the brand's signature, just like Deere Green or International Red. The EL2 itself arrived in 1977, a refinement of the earlier Model L. It ran either a roughly 145 horsepower gas engine or a 158 horsepower diesel in the hydrostatic models, and it came loaded with features that were genuinely advanced for the time. Push-button electro-hydraulic controls, a stone ejection door to protect the cylinder, and visual tailing so the operator could see how the machine was threshing. In its day, the L2 led the United States in both sales and resale value, and it became a favorite among custom harvesters who ran thousands of acres a season and demanded reliability. That custom harvester pedigree is exactly why these refuse to retire. A combine that could survive the brutal grind of cutting wheat from Texas to the Dakotas season after season was a combine built to last. The Gleaner's frame was famously strong. Its bearings were chosen large and common so a farmer could carry spares in his truck, and the whole machine was designed around the idea that repairs should be minimal and easy. For the modern small-grain farmer, an L2 is a rugged, simple, weatherproof machine you can buy cheap and run forever. No wonder so many are still gleaming silver in fields across the heartland. Number 6. John Deere 7720 Titan II. When farmers outgrew the 6600 but weren't ready to jump into the rotary era, John Deere had an answer. The 7720, and especially the Titan II version that arrived in the 1980s. Ask anyone who stepped up from a smaller machine and you'll hear the same phrase over and over, "What a horse!" The 7720 was the larger sibling in Deere's conventional Walker lineup, built to give bigger operations more capacity without abandoning the proven, repairable design farmers trusted. The Titan II refinements brought improved performance and durability, and the combination of a turbocharged diesel, a wide separator, and Deere's well-developed Walker system made it a machine that could eat acres while still being something a farmer could wrench on himself. This is the combine that sits in that sweet spot so many producers love. It's big enough to handle a real grain operation, corn, beans, wheat, but it predates the maze of emissions equipment and proprietary electronics that make modern machines so expensive to own and so frustrating to fix. When a 7720 acts up, the problem is almost always mechanical. A belt, a bearing, a chain, a worn part you can see and touch and replace. The economics are brutal in the 7720's favor. A clean, well-kept Titan II can be bought for a fraction of what a modern combine's down payment costs, and it'll harvest the same crop into the same grain cart. For a farmer who's done doing business with five-figure repair invoices, that math is impossible to argue with. There's also the durability factor. These machines were built in an era when Deere was engineering for longevity, and a 7720 that's been greased, sheltered, and maintained can rack up thousands of trouble-free hours. Plenty of them have already outlived the loans that bought them many times over. So when a salesman points at the shiny new model, a lot of 7720 owners just smile, climb back into that familiar cab, and keep cutting. Number 5. Gleaner N6. Earlier, we covered the conventional Gleaner L2. Now meet the machine that changed everything for the silver brand, the Gleaner N6, the combine that brought Gleaner into the rotary age in 1979. What made the N-Series special was its transverse rotor mounted sideways across the machine rather than running front to back like its competitors. This was a genuinely clever piece of engineering. The sideways rotor and Gleaner's natural flow layout let crop move through the machine efficiently while keeping the whole combine remarkably compact and lightweight compared to rivals with similar capacity. The N6 ran a roughly 220 horsepower engine and could swallow a 30-foot grain head, and it even offered one of the first 12-row corn heads available in America. The N-Series put Gleaner on the map. The bigger N7 that followed became the largest capacity combine in North America, and it held that title for around 2 decades before competitors caught up. For a brand that had to fight the giants of Deere and International, that was a statement. Now, in the interest of being straight with you, the very earliest N machines had some growing pains, as the first examples of any radical new design tend to, but the platform matured into something farmers came to genuinely treasure. The transverse rotor Gleaners earned a devoted following for their light footprint, which matters enormously on soft ground, their fuel efficiency, and their gentle threshing. That lightweight design is a huge part of why these refuse to be replaced. Modern combines are enormous, heavy machines that can compact wet soil and require massive horsepower just to move. A Gleaner N6 floats over ground that bogs down heavier rivals, sips less fuel, and still threshes a clean sample. For farmers on lighter or wetter soils, that's not nostalgia, it's a practical advantage no new machine offers. Pair that with the silver galvanized body that refuses to rust, and you've got a combine owners simply won't part with. Number 4. Case IH1660. When International Harvester and the Case Corporation merged in 1985, one of the first great combines to wear the new Case IH badge was the 1660, and it carried forward a design that had already shaken the entire industry. To understand the 1660, you have to understand what came before it. In 1977, International Harvester had bet the farm, literally pouring more than 1 million man-hours into development and running 300 prototypes across North America to launch the Axial-Flow combine, the first mass-produced single-rotor harvester in the world. That single rotor, running the length of the machine, threshed and separated grain in one smooth, gentle grain-on-grain motion. It was simpler, gentler, and higher capacity than the Drum & Walker machines everyone else was building, and IH's patent on the design gave it a powerful edge over Deere, Massey, and the rest. The 1660 was the matured, refined version of that breakthrough, built into the late 1980s. By this point, the bugs of the first generation were long gone, and the Axial-Flow had become a proven, trusted platform. The single rotor layout meant fewer moving parts than a conventional combine, no straw walkers thrashing away, no complex multi-belt separator, and fewer moving parts means fewer things to break. That mechanical simplicity is the core reason farmers refuse to give up their 1660s. A combine with fewer wear points, built before the emissions era, with a rugged Axial-Flow rotor that's famously durable, is a combine that just keeps working. Owners talk about running them for years with nothing more than routine maintenance, belts, bearings, and grease. And when you do need parts, the Axial-Flow's massive production numbers mean availability is excellent and prices are reasonable. For a farmer who wants rotary capacity and clean grain without the crushing cost and complexity of a modern machine, the 1660 hits a perfect balance. It's old enough to be cheap and simple, and good enough to still get the job done right. Number 3. John Deere 9600 Maximizers. By the time the 1990s arrived, John Deere had fully embraced rotary-style separation, and the crown jewel of that era was the 9600 Maximizer. Built from 1989 to 1997, the 9600 became one of the most respected combines Deere ever produced, and decades later, farmers still chase clean, low-hour examples like Treasure. The numbers tell part of the story. The 9600 packed a turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel making around 300 horsepower, a grain tank holding close to 250 bushels, and a rotary separating system designed to minimize grain loss while maximizing throughput. It could handle corn, soybeans, and wheat with equal confidence, making it the versatile do-everything machine for a mid to large grain operation. But specs aren't why these refuse to die. Reputation is. The 9600 earned a name as one of the toughest, most dependable combines of its generation. A genuine workhorse with a robust steel frame, high-quality components, and straightforward access to the parts that need regular service. Farmers and mechanics who've spent their lives around these machines consistently rank the 9600 among the best-built combines Deere ever made. Here's the crucial part. The 9600 sits right on the line before modern complexity took over. It has enough capacity and capability to run a serious operation, but it predates the diesel exhaust fluid systems, the touchscreen everything cabs, and the lockdown software that define current machines. When a 9600 needs work, a competent farmer or independent mechanic can do that work without being forced back to the dealership and a diagnostic computer. That combination is gold. You get real harvesting capacity, proven over thousands of hours, in a package you can actually own and maintain on your own terms. It's why the 9600 holds its value so stubbornly on the used market, and why so many owners offered a trade simply say no. A modern combine might do more, but it'll never do it as simply, as cheaply, or as honestly as a green 9600 that's already proven it'll run forever. Number 2. Case IH 1688. We touched on the Axial-Flow legacy with the 1660. Now we reach the machine many farmers consider the absolute peak of that classic era, the Case IH 1688. Released in 1993 and 1994 as part of the upgraded 16 series, the 1688 took everything good about the Axial-Flow and sharpened it, and for a huge number of farmers, it became the combine they'd happily run until the end of time. The 1688 brought meaningful improvements to processing capacity over earlier Axial-Flows while keeping the elegant simplicity of the single rotor design. That rotor remains the machine's signature. Gentle on grain, capable in tough crops, and blessed with far fewer moving parts than the Walker machines it replaced. When you keep the rotor properly loaded, a 1688 threshes beautifully and leaves a clean sample. Talk to people who've owned them, and the consensus is clear. A well-maintained 1688 is a long-lasting machine that can run for thousands upon thousands of hours. The catch, and farmers are honest about this, is that well-maintained matters. Neglect one, and the repairs can add up. But care for it. Change the radiator hoses and engine belt before they fail. Keep the feeder house pivots and front axle inspected. Watch your rotor RPM under load, and the 1688 rewards you with seasons of dependable work. That's exactly the kind of machine farmers refuse to replace. It's mechanically honest. Every weak point is well known and well documented because the Axial-Flow community is enormous and parts are plentiful. There are no surprises and no software locks, just a rugged red combine you can understand completely. In a world where a new machine costs more than many farms make in a good year, the 1688 represents something close to perfect value. Enough capacity to farm seriously, enough simplicity to fix yourself, and enough proven durability to trust with the whole harvest. Plenty of farmers have decided it's the last combine they'll ever need to buy, and they mean it. Number 1. International Harvester 1460 Axial-Flow. And at number 1, we go back to the machine that started a revolution and never stopped earning respect. The original International Harvester 1460 Axial-Flow, launched in 1977. This is the combine that changed the entire industry. For decades, every combine on Earth threshed grain the same basic way. A spinning cylinder beating the crop against a concave, with straw walkers shaking out the rest. International Harvester threw that playbook out. After more than a decade of secretive research, IH unveiled a machine built around a single long rotor that did the threshing and separating all by itself, in one continuous, gentle motion. It was the first rotary combine of its kind ever mass-produced. The 1460 sat near the top of that first lineup, powered by a 170 horsepower turbocharged IH diesel of 436 cubic inches, spinning a 24-inch rotor. Farmers immediately noticed two things: less grain damage and less loss left in the field. The rotor was simply easier on the crop and more thorough than the old Drum & Walker setup. IH had gambled everything: 1 million man-hours of engineering and 300 prototype harvesting across America and Canada in 1977, and the gamble paid off spectacularly. The Axial-Flow design was so good, it's still the foundation of case IH combines today, nearly half a century and 9 generations later. So why is a 1977 machine our #1 combine farmers refuse to replace? Because it's the purest expression of everything this whole list is about. The first generation Axial-Flow is mechanically simple, built like a tank, gentle on grain, and old enough that there's not a single emission sensor or computer chip to fail. It's a piece of living history that still does honest work. Owning a 1460 means owning the machine that rewrote how the world harvests grain, and being able to fix it yourself with hand tools in your own shop. For the farmer who values independence, durability, and a design proven across 5 decades, there is simply no modern machine worth trading it for. It started the rotary era, and it's still going. That's why it's #1. If you enjoyed this one, let me know in the comments which of these combines you've run, or which one your family still owns. Hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the iron that built American agriculture, and I'll see you in the next one.